Pinnacle nominees are individuals who, through commitment and dedication, have impacted the future of our community. As a philanthropic organization, the Marshfield Area Community Foundation is committed to engagements which will enhance the quality of life for current and future generations. With great belief, this year's recipient, Ruth Brooks, exemplifies and parallels the mission of our foundation. At this point, I would like to turn the microphone over to State Representative Lyndall Fraker, because I bet he has many more funny things to tell you about. Representative Fraker.
Thank you very much, Caroline. I appreciate that. You know, there was a comedy out a few years ago that one of the famous lines in that movie was, "I'm not worthy, I'm not worthy." Well, that's about how I feel up here tonight. I don't feel worthy of being able to present an award to someone that has done so much and accomplished so much. But through the help of our friends, we're gonna do that tonight. And so there's gonna be some others come up and say some things. So it really is an honor to be here and be a part of such an event to present this year's Marshfield Area Community Foundation Award, Pinnacle Award. This year's recipient is certainly someone who's touched many lives and helped as many people as about anyone that you can think of in recent memory in the Marshfield and surrounding community. Mary Ruth Brooks, or Fufu as she is known to many of us in this room, has served this area in so many ways. It's just going to be really difficult to be able to list all the things that she's done and all the organizations that she's helped, but we'll try to do our best. You know, when we think of Mary Ruth, there's several words that come to mind, and more than we can, again, think of or list probably, but some that kind of stand out to me is she's certainly a builder of this community. She helped this community through a time when it really grew, and she and her family helped to make that happen. She's kind of a visionary, you know, whenever Marshfield wanted something new or felt like that it needed something, she would be one of the first people would go to and ask for her help and support. And certainly that's happened many, many times over the past few years. But the other thing that I think of, and I think many of us, especially in my generation, is we feel like she's the matriarch of Marshfield. And when you think about the matriarchs in the past that have gone before, whether it's in the movies or television or, you know, in our nation or our world, Mary Ruth fits that role in Marshfield and Webster County and the communities that she serves. From her early years growing up in the St. Luke community, by serving her church, the St. Luke Church, or helping her parents, her mother and sister, certainly after the tragedy of her father's death, to more recently serving as the president of the Marshfield Public Schools Foundation, or serving her church, the United Methodist Church here in Marshfield. She's given a lifetime of herself to others and serving them in many, many ways. I'm going to attempt to list a few of the things that she has done, and then some of our other guests will come up and certainly add much more. But probably more than anyone, I don't know of any family or herself or her family that have bought more yearbook ads, newspaper ads, radio ads, every church fundraiser, every charitable organization that has a chili supper or a fundraiser. You just can't hardly think of anyone that they haven't helped and served over the years, and they're usually the first business that people go to. As I mentioned, she was a founding member and the president of the Marshfield Public Schools Foundation, and that organization has helped students, teachers, many in our community, and she has been, again, the matriarch of that organization. She's really carried the torch for the school foundation. Mary Ruth has probably attended more sporting events. Now just think about this. From St. Louis Cardinals to MSU Bears to Drury Panthers to the Marshfield Blue Jays, how many ball games would she attend in just a year's time, let alone a lifetime? And certainly has always supported all of those organizations with her presence and her service. She's been a member and supported the Marshfield Country Club. She's certainly helped gather and coordinate the memorials for the Bill Brooks Livestock Arena at the fairgrounds several years ago. She was one of the early members of the Marshfield B&PW Club, which was the only club Marshfield had for women in those days, from what I understand. The Lions Club and the Rotary Club wouldn't let them in those days. She was a Cub Scout leader back when her boys were in school, homeschool room mother, lifelong supporter of the Marshfield United Methodist Church, as I mentioned, served in various capacities over the years, and supports the St. Luke Methodist Church also. And of course, Foo always has a bag of candy or gum for all the little children or the big children around town, whether it's at church or ball games or if they come in the store. They know where it's at too. It's in her purse. You know, she's helped many of us here in this room, and in numerous ways, both personally and professionally. My daughter, when she was 2 or 3 years old, would sit by her in church on the back row if I was helping usher at one time in my life, and she was certainly a friend to me then and still is today. And many of us have those stories.